Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are, another Underdog draft. Been looking forward to this one today. I enjoy these so much. And I just want to welcome my co-host here, Jorge. How are you, buddy?
Hola, my friend. How you doing? I'm doing great. Greetings from sunny California.
Yeah, we don't feel sorry for you. You have the beach over there talking about the heat, and I'm like, yeah, I don't feel sorry for you at all. You can just go lay out in the ocean, and man, I'm jealous. Yeah, I grew up in Florida, so I was a beach bum. I loved it when I was a kid, man. It was the life, and I actually used to surf. That was another lifetime, but yeah, so jealous about that. Nowadays, I'm in Kentucky. It's a beautiful state. It really is. But it's been in the upper 90. It's been above 95 this week and humid. So it's been nasty. I'm sure it's humid there too, though, right?
Not too bad. Not too
Okay.
bad. Where we are, we're kind of inland in the San Fernando Valley, so we get it's kind of desert where we are. Great for growing citrus. I got a beautiful fruit orange tree in the backyard that comes in. But yeah, it's plenty toasty. But we went to the kids and we went to the beach on Monday in 45 minutes, and I got my feet in the sand, and it's 30 degrees cooler and just enjoying the hell of it. So I'm not going to rub it in, because I know Kentucky's got a lot of great stuff, and you get seasons.
Yeah.
We get summer, and then somewhere around December, somewhere around Christmas, it decides to get cold, and
Yeah.
so for about a month.
Yeah. So tell us about your podcast here, Jorge.
Well, we're Familia FFB. We've been going on. This is year 3 now, and it's been a blast. It's been a blast. It was kind of like it started out as a COVID project where I launched it with a couple of my cousins, call them my primos. That's cousin in Spanish, and we really just kind of leaned into the fact that really we didn't see any Latinos, not many minorities, very few women doing this. And we just thought, you know what? Let's kind of lean into this whole thing, throw some Spanglish out there, talk about Mexican food, talk about beer, argue about fantasy football, because it started out, we're in a very ultra competitive 12-team fantasy league that's been going on for, I think, 13 years now. And I mean, it's the trash talking is the best, which is phenomenal. And we just sometimes we started to bring out that trash talking into the chat. So both my cousins, they took a couple months off, but they're coming on when we get back into redraft season, and the arguments are going to come back. And so I've been bringing on a lot of guests. Actually, you are one of the people that I've been wanting to get all of the fantasy points people. Graham joined me, so did Joe, and so I want to get you and the rest of the crew on before the season starts. But yeah, I mean, it's been phenomenal. We've been a part of Fantasy Points Media Group since early part of this year, and honestly, it feels like getting called up to the big leagues. I think you might know that I used to work for the Dodgers, so it's been pretty cool. It's kind of like you're working with people who are very like-minded, very very smart. God, I mean, it's just I love to. I feel like I learn so much every time I pop on a Fantasy Points podcast, YouTube show, something like that. It's awesome, and I've gotten to know some of the people in the media group.
Yeah.
And one thing that I'm doing right now, we just Joe Dolan actually shared a couple of names. Last year, I did an entire. I went 32 for 32. I've got a beat writer, insider from all 32 teams, and I'm in 6 episodes into it. Got a few more to, and I want to try and get all 32 teams in by maybe the first few days of training camp. A couple of beat writers asked to start to wait until training camp. I think maybe they're waiting for some trades, but already a lot of great insight coming in. Already a lot of great insight. Just dropped the Rams this morning, the world champion Rams, who are in my backyard.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, congrats on that. That was a great Super Bowl.
Fantastic.
Yeah. My kids, it was first year they really got into the Super Bowl, so we had a lot of fun with that. And of course, they were rooting for the Bengals, but yeah,
Kentucky to Cincinnati. That's right.
Yeah. Well, see, I'm a Dolphins fan. I grew up in Florida. But they were born here, so yeah, that's what they're into. But yeah, so
Oh, well, I just want to tell you, when the Rams were away on their 20-year sojourn, the Dolphins were one of the teams that I adopted.
okay,
So I've always been, Dan Marino is forever my all-time
yeah,
favorite quarterback.
there you
So
go.
yeah, just forever one of my favorites. I got a close friend who's still in Fort Lauderdale who keeps me posted. But yeah, and Dolphin Nation is strong. I dropped a show with Alan Poupar of Sports Illustrated last week, and it's been getting some good views. And
Yeah,
Tuanon is strong, is what I've heard.
yeah, definitely. And by the way, I'm a big Dodger fan too.
Oh, who's your guy?
Well, it's old school. Of
Please.
course, yeah. I love Walker Bueller and everything, but and actually, he's from around here.
That's right.
He's from Kentucky. But I'm a Clayton Kershaw guy. It's just I'm a homer, and so it's I was a pitcher growing up in high school, so
Oh,
yeah, I grew up in Florida, but I lived in Vero Beach for a while, and
so you've
um,
gone to Dodger Town.
oh yeah, we would go. My dad, he would take me just all the time, and met Sandy Koufax and got his autograph a couple times, and Don Drysdale and Tommy Lasorda. Uh,
Oh.
Almost saw Kirk Gibson jump a fence and manhandle a guy. It was just a great childhood. Then we our seats we would always sit next to the bullpen, and Mark Cressy would always he'd always toss me baseballs. He was the bullpen
Mhm.
catcher, and yeah, I was there almost every game, so he was tossing those um, to me. So it was nice.
Oh,
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
you're filling my heart. You're filling my heart. And actually, at you mentioned Kershaw. I was there the day he signed his first pro contract. 2 months
Oh,
after, only couple, 2, 3 months after turning 18 years old, walks in with buzz cut. His mom. If you don't like his mom, you don't like
yeah,
Christmas. It's
yeah,
just, and he just was the nicest guy, most polite, and just was talking about how he watched the movie on Dodger history on the flight to LA to sign his contract. And I mean, how did you know? How could I know? And this was my first year with the team back in 2006 when he got drafted.
yeah,
And how could you know that this guy was going to launch a Hall of Fame career? It's just 2 years later. So just
yeah.
amazing. Just amazing.
Unbelievable. I love lefties. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get this going. And
Yeah.
then the one thing I do want to toss out there is our promo that we have running. It's so new Underdog users can use the promo code Fantasy Points, get up to $100 of bonus cash on your first deposit, and then we also have our June donation program to Best Friends Animal Society. So make sure you go to Twitter and get our the tweets that we put out with our puppies. We have promo codes on them all. For me, it's Pebbles 10. Use that promo code to sign up for Fantasy Points, and we're going to be donating 10% of the proceeds to the non lethal animal shelters. So definitely want to do that. We love, excuse me, $10 of the proceeds to the June donation program.
Could
But
I pump my dog real quick?
yeah, go ahead, do it. No, I'm
Yes.
all about the puppies, man. Love
Yeah,
the
well,
puppies.
my pup Dino, he's Dino 10, Dino, and he is a rescue. So he's 5 years old. He still must think he's a puppy because he's still very much into mayhem, and but he loves my daughters. Gosh, when and not they're home from school, he can't hang out with them enough. So Dino 10.
That's exactly why I got Pebbles. American Bulldog, full breed is. I have a 5-year-old daughter, and when I'm not around, I'd like to, And the only thing is her bark's very intimidating. Man,
Hmm.
she's just a baby. She's a baby. She the other day somebody honked the horn. She came running in the house. I mean, it's hilarious. Okay, so it's not an exact science. We're both going to click on the puppy here, but it's going to be the Superflex puppy. So we're both going to click on it, and Make sure it's set for the 30-second pick, and then I'll count down from 5, and we'll hit enter. Does that sound good, Jorge?
Yeah, I'm already in one.
Oh, you are. Crap. All right, let me enter.
Did I? It says waiting for 8 people.
Yep, we're good. We're in the same one. All right,
Awesome.
good deal. Didn't even have to be even
Woo.
close to an exact science. Yeah, we usually do a 5-second countdown because we get all scared. Okay, and then let me share my screen here so you guys can actually see what's going on.
I love this because as I told you before the show, I've been doing a lot of Scott Fishbowl mock drafts. So, and it's super flex, and I love super flex. It's my new favorite way to play.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and I did a lot of puppies with the single QB. So this will be this will be good testing ground.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, that's the wrong one. Actually, speaking of super flexes, that is the Devi Superflex I got going on. Let me get the right one on here. Yeah, that's not the right one. So,
is there someone from Columbus, Ohio, on your team? Any members from Columbus, Ohio?
no, we haven't. We're just doing the NFL side right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll get to the college. I think we're starting the college on August 15th. So
Oh,
we're
wow. Just when training camps are starting up for them.
yeah. We don't want it's going to be like a learning situation. It's 22 teams. It's a deep one, but it's only I'm the only one that has significant Devi experience. I'm just trying to introduce people to the format, and just it's my favorite format. And okay, we got 58 seconds till it starts.
Outstanding.
It's my favorite format easily, and nobody really knows anything about it. So there's just a whole world to open up to these people, and they're loving it right now. They're loving it. They're like, whoa, 22 teams. And at first, a little intimidation, but as we've gotten into it, they're like, wow, this is awesome. Quarterbacks went way too early though. Like we had like Jared Goff going in the 3rd round. It was like, guys, I would rather die than pay that price.
It is crazy. I mean, just I did one. I was doing a Scott Fishbowl mock draft, and I couldn't believe. Like, I think I went quarterback, and then I waited a while, and then it was like poof, they were gone. I mean,
Gone.
the third quarterbacks were gone.
I took Kyler Murray in the 1st round. I'm okay with that. I'll just roll with one quarterback, and I'll just plug in I'm just picking up studs, whereas everyone else is grabbing the 2nd and 3rd quarterbacks. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'll take the Amon-Ra St. Browns and DK Metcalfs of the world. Obviously DK is not going to kill it this year, but they're going to get one of those top 23 rookies next year. So that's what I'm banking on.
So you're not buying the possibility that Baker Mayfield could be?
It's possible, and that would be great. Yeah, it'll work out this year for me. But I'm not gonna assume did I? Wow. Yeah. So it's tough. I hate because yeah. I mean, I know
going number 2.
Oh, I gotta go with my guy Herbert.
Oh,
Gotta go Herbert, man.
Oh, wow. They're gonna Jonathan Taylor at number 3.
Yeah, that was surprising.
Oh, I'm torn between Patrick Mahomes and going Cooper Kupp, but no, I gotta go. I gotta go with Patrick. I think he's still. Really? Yes, I think he's still going to have a great season this year.
I can't argue with it. I have him as my QB4. Only guy I have ahead of him, though. And, I only break this rule because it's just you and I here. Sure. Hopefully the guys that aren't in this draft aren't listening. Or, actually, I really don't care. But Joe Burrow, I have him as my QB3. But,
Yes, I could see that. I mean, they beefed up their offensive line. In fact, I think in your hard count, you were talking about the beefing up the offensive line, or the one that you did earlier this week.
Yeah,
and they have everything there. And honestly, I've got the notes ready. I just got to sit down and write it on the. Jamar Chase has a clear path to being wide receiver 1.
Yeah, he does. He does.
And it's just to me the big thing that I was looking at when I was doing some numbers. I mean, he led the league in drops last year, and so improvement there. And it really felt like Burrow was still finding himself first part of the season, even though even though Chase got off to a hot start. But no,
Mhm.
I think Chase, the fact that he only had 128 targets last year, I think that's going to jump up to 150, 160, maybe, maybe even 10 a game.
Yeah.
And geez, you do that after when the guy got 1,400 yards, I'll take my chances with that guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll
By the
get
way,
Burrow.
there's breaking news. Alvin
Ooh.
Kamara suspended 6 games.
Wow.
Yeah, that wasn't the greatest news. I was kind of hoping for about a 3-game suspension, but it really makes you wonder what are they going to do to Deshaun Watson if they're going to give Kamara 6 games. Yeah, I can't imagine the NFL Players Association allowing the suspension to extend beyond this season, but it's almost a guarantee he's going to be out this year.
Wasn't there video of him in
See,
the
now that would change everything. Was it Kamara? Is that what you're
I think
talking
it was Kamara. I think there
about?
was
Okay,
video
okay.
of Kamara.
Okay, so if I was like, "Whoa, if there's video of Watson, it's over.
No.
His
No.
career might be over," you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, no. I didn't if there's video of Kamara that he actually got off light because video is like a death sentence. So,
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, I think I do wonder if the fact that he has settled 20 of the 24 lawsuits,
yeah.
if that is helpful in any way, shape, or form.
I think it shows guilt, I think,
Yeah.
that he's he's given it the time of day. I think I think it's good for him. I think it's good to have that out of his way and that they're not, knocking at his door anymore. But at the same time, I think it kind of does show that he's at least, accepting responsibility. But I really don't think it's going to change the suspension. I think it's a year. I don't think it's going to be any less. But you know what? He's 26 years old. It doesn't really matter because you know what? Age doesn't matter at quarterback.
Oh God, no.
He could play another 15 years, no question. With his talent and his ability to read a defense, I mean, it's top 10 and it's not even close.
I mean, he's so special, and he's got just enough mobility that he could lose some and just be a straight pocket passer, and he is that great. That's why I couldn't believe that he fell as into I think it was number 12 or something
Mhm.
like that.
Mhm.
That to me was one that was surprising. Okay, I'm on the board right now.
Oh yeah, there you
Okay,
are. Okay.
so do I go quarterback again? No, you know what? I am between Najee Harris and Devontae Adams.
It's tough. It's tough, and you
Ooh.
got the clock so short.
I think I'm going to go Najee just because
Yeah.
his sheer volume is going to be ridiculous, and
It makes you wonder how are these guys gonna adjust to the format, because I want to go quarterback here, but then I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I'm not. Oh no, he took Dalvin Cook. That changes things. I think I'm
ooh
gonna go quarterback. So I
ooh
think I'm gonna go. Heck, you know what? I'm gonna go Derek Carr.
ooh
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I'm
I gotta
sitting
do
down.
it.
I'm
Gotta do
sitting
it.
down with Vinny Bonsignor of the Las Vegas Review Journal to talk about on early part of next week. So I'll probably drop it after that. I'm really intrigued by what that team is going to do this year.
Mhm.
I,
Yeah, I am
I,
too. They have a tough schedule. They do, but the weaponry that they have now I mean, just adding Devontae, it changes everything. It changes the outlook for every player on the team, and it's hard to really argue with what they got going on there. And please let Devontae drop to me, please,
that's
please.
right. Yeah, man, if he falls to you, that would just be that would be phenomenal.
That would be just an incredible stack.
Oh, no,
I mean, I didn't even
the
consider
game over.
that. I really didn't. I was like, no way, he's going to be there. Oh yeah, that'd
Oh,
be.
he's there. That's an easy one to say yes to.
Yeah, I'll take that all day.
Now I'm a
By the
big
way, you tell me a date, and I'm ready to come on the family podcast. You just let me
Oh,
know.
okay. We'll
Yeah.
do something right after the 4th of July.
Okay.
I'd love to have you on after the 4th of July. Now I'm curious. Oh, there's going to be a big gap between now and getting a quarterback. I'm very You know what? Yeah, oh yeah. I'm gonna I'm taking a chance on Justin Fields on this one. I
I love you for that. I love Justin Fields. I'm an Ohio State fan, but it has nothing to do with my analysis. And this guy can put the ball on a dime at 60 yards. He's got a 100th percentile speed. Based off of quarterbacks at the combine, I don't think you can go wrong there.
it's you know what? He seems to have that gear that very few guys have.
Mhm.
Lamar Jackson has it. And I mean, maybe he's not as fast, but I think he's at least as fast as Jalen Hurts. And look what Jalen Hurts did last year. I think that he had a couple of games last year and it happened to be primetime games. That game against Pittsburgh, where I mean they had the chance to win and it got fouled up, but he really rose up. And I'm a big believer in second year for quarterbacks. And
Yeah.
and I was huge on him going into the draft. I did not have I had Trevor Lawrence one. He was my number two. And
Mhm.
I just thought that I loved his arm. I loved his deep ball. I think people were being a little too nitpicky on him as far as holding the ball long.
Mhm.
But I mean, he could do it because he had those big guys up in front of him, and
And plus, he's 6'6", so
yeah,
he's just so much bigger than everybody else. So
I love his game.
yeah, no, I do too. And I was talking to Guru on his radio show, and he was, he called me out, put me on the spot, and he's like, are we still on Lawrence? After last year. And when you look back at what he dealt with, he had so many injuries at wide receiver to the point, he had Marvin Jones, but I'm starting to think, is 35 a little old at wide receiver, and especially as the number one, Jones, he did well when he was at Detroit, but I think there's just too many reasons not to still be on T-Law here. Now, am I going to go over? Am I going to take him over the mobile quarterbacks? No, I'm still going to take like Jalen Hurts, Justin Fields, but right after those guys, yeah, absolutely.
And you know what? I think one of the things when it comes to these year two quarterbacks, and Lawrence, I'm going to grab him as my second quarterback in either super flex or even single QB teams,
Mhm.
just on the off chance that you get the blow up, because that's the year. I mean, I tell people all the time, go back and look at John Elway's stats. I mean, he's on the Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks,
Mhm.
and his rookie stats horrible.
Yeah.
Way more interceptions. They were actually pretty similar to Trevor Lawrence's. In fact, I think he only threw single digit touchdowns and double digit interceptions. Peyton Manning led the league in interceptions.
Yeah.
And these guys are just flat out studs. You know what? There's the greatest growth from year one to year two. I'm going to be taking chances on these guys. And even Trey Lance, gosh, that arm, he's got that beautiful arm. And even if you're just getting the running, the running upside,
Yeah.
those guys, I'm taking a lot of chances on those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And in talking about Fields, and he didn't even play 10 full games.
Yeah.
So we do not stick a fork in a rookie quarterback in today's NFL before guys even played 10 games. And I do see a little more lenience for Zach Wilson, which he's another guy that I think could definitely take some steps forward this year. But I see that he's getting a little more little more of a pass than people are giving Justin Fields, just because he's got a better surrounding cast. I don't really care about the surrounding cast. What I care about is the development. And the Bears, they had to give up their first rounder this year to trade up to get Justin Fields last year. They're going to go into the draft next year with they're going to have their first rounder, and it's a pretty strong wide receiver class as well. Again, which it's not a surprise. We're going to see like a strong wide receiver class every year because of how valuable wide receiver is to the modern game.
Oh, it is incredible. I mean, I do think that guys like Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase have spoiled us and
Mhm.
made it, because I don't think we can expect that, but I think there's the second half of the season breakouts that are coming.
Yeah,
And one
absolutely.
guy who was an example,
You're on the clock.
yeah, is the guy I'm going to take right now.
Okay.
AJ Brown is the prime example of that. I think there's going to be just in the. I think the Eagles are going to come back. They're going to be, closer to 50-50. I'm going to let you go. But AJB is a great example. He broke out in the second half of his rookie year, and that's what I think we're going to see a lot of with several guys this year.
Mm-hmm.
What are you looking at on this one?
Oh, Michael Pittman.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't pass him up.
Oh, it's such a great pick. I
I
love
love
him.
Michael Pittman, and I don't have enough stock in him in these on Underdog. You get it. You go to my dynasty rosters, and I have him everywhere. But yeah, I don't have him. I don't have enough of him there. I did get Jalen Waddle in the fantasy points Debbie League, and so it's like the first Debbie League I was able to get Waddle. Kind of a homer pick, but at the same time, an easy top 10 guy dynasty wise at wide receivers. So I was
How
excited.
intrigued are you by what Mike McDaniel's going to do with him? Oh, you're on the clock. Sorry.
I am on the clock, and I'm going to go with my guy Jalen Waddle.
Woohoo! I love
Oh
it.
yeah. Oh yeah. It's like like I said, I don't care. I normally wouldn't do this stuff. I don't like talking about players that haven't been drafted, but it's like Naheem Hines. When you have a guy that the coach is calling out by name and saying, "Hey, fantasy world, you need to go get this guy." I listen. And part of that is because of college football. I love college fantasy. I'm hardcore into it, and we're releasing a product this year. If you don't know about it,
Oh, I do.
come in and check it out. You're going to find just information that is just honestly, I don't think there's anybody out there that is putting out the type of stuff that we are. And we've got this kid in here. He's like a savant, Josh Chevalier. If you've never heard the name, and I don't mean you, Jorge, I just mean like in general, if you've never heard the name, this guy is one of the best in the entire industry. When college football hits, this guy is going to be a superstar. That's how good he is. Yeah, we're just putting out some crazy stuff here. And I can't wait for the release. It's coming up in just like a week or so. So you can go ahead and get the package now. But and actually, until June 30th, you can use. I think the code is fantasy points 30, or I'm sure Ben will let me know what that code is. College football 22. Use the code college football 22, and you can get a nice little discount on that. But
I think it's CFB 22.
CFB, yeah. Sorry about that. CFB 22. So anyway, and with the college fantasy, when a coach says something about a player, I mean that's like gospel. In college football, when a coach is touting a player, that means this guy's about to break out, because coaches they only talk about the guys that have just been the top dogs, and so it's something that Josh and I are always out looking for. It's gold in college fantasy or college DFS. It's absolutely what you're always trying to find.
And it's just something. I mean, the college game, it's becoming so incredible. I mean, it's becoming like the pros right now. Oh, I'm back on,
You
and
are.
let's see. Do I go third quarterback?
Yeah, how
Um,
fan is that? I haven't looked at that. Oh wow,
uh,
yeah, we are getting low,
we
aren't we?
are. It's getting late early out there,
Yeah,
as
yeah,
Yogi Berra once said. Though I'm actually feeling Brees Hall on this one.
yeah. I was looking at him too. I was like, wow, he's still there.
I couldn't believe it. I've grabbed him many times when I've been kind of like between guys,
Yeah,
and I think his upside. I mean, hey, Scott Barrett upside wins championships, right?
that's
Uh,
right. No,
I,
it's gospel right there.
I think he's set for a big year. The line is set. There's so much talk about the interior of the line being one of the best in the league, and that they free
Well,
those guys up.
that solved it for me. I was going to go Davis Mills there, but he was just grabbed. So running. I don't even have a running back. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go running back here, and um, I'm back and forth. But you know what? I don't have any Cam Akers underdog stock, and I'm gonna bank that he's gonna be back to full health. And I just love that powerhouse they got going on right now at LA. I know you're a believer. I think we can all agree with that.
I am a believer. Edwin did get me to kind of, temper the enthusiasm a little bit,
Yeah,
because he hasn't seen the explosion come back yet. But
which is normal though.
yeah,
When you have these major injuries, you're gonna see a player hesitate slightly.
what he did was an absolute miracle. I mean,
Mhm.
that was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I mean, to be starting and being the bell cow during the playoffs. I mean, to me, the thing that really tells me that Sean McVay wants him to be the guy is that I think it was the Tampa game where he fumbled the ball twice and he kept
Mhm.
giving him the ball.
Yep.
So I think the volume is going to be there as long as he holds up. Darrell Henderson, I'm grabbing him as late in drafts sometimes, but I think Cam Akers it's hard. I think that volume is going to be there.
Yeah.
And plus the other thing, Kyron Williams, who got picked,
That's what I was gonna ask you about.
he had a
Broke
broken
his
foot.
foot.
So
Okay.
that to me tells me he's going to be more of a second half guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at this one. Oh, I'm going to go down on this one, and because I've been grabbing him wherever I can. Is Brandon Cooks?
Okay, that's a Scott Barrett guy right there.
Oh yeah. I think he's just he's clinically, just chronically underrated.
Mm-hmm.
And since we're doing a puppy, I'm looking at the fact that I'm looking at week 17 with that, and the Texans are hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars that week. And
Yeah.
I just think that Jacksonville's defense is still going to be kind of rebuilding. I think it's going to be a shootout game, and he's going to have a big game. Yeah, and I've been a couple of times on single QB. I'm getting cheap stacks with Cooks and Mills.
Yeah.
Late. So I think Davis Mills is another guy who's going to take a step forward this year, because he's going to have to. He's
That's what
going
I
to
was
have
going
to.
to say. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, the defense is rebuilding, so there's going to be some shootouts there, and he's going to have to throw. And God, how much longer? Why do we have to wait 3 more months? Almost 3 more months to the
Oh,
season.
I know, man. I know. That's why I love college football, because I get it a
Yeah,
month early, and it holds me over. As much as I love college, and I love it, it's a crazy passion. It just doesn't do it for me like is to the level of NFL. Josh would slap me in the mouth if he heard me say that. But it's not a knock, because of all the things that entertains me, in the world of entertainment, there's nothing to me like NFL. So I mean, it's maximum competition, where the difference between the player that wins and the player that loses in talent and athleticism and every other category is so minute, but it's enough to put you over the top. It's just, there's nothing like it in the world, in my opinion.
and I agree, because I just look at the fact that, I mean, to me, the thing that has me not dive full into college is just the fact that there's just not the level of quarterback play that's at the NFL.
Mhm.
That is the big differentiator. You get just some incredible athletes, and definitely, I mean, as you talked about, the receivers are coming out NFL ready, but just like the quarterbacks, how many got picked in the most recent draft?
Yeah, well,
One
I
in the
will
first round.
say the 23 class is
Oh,
stacked.
yes.
Stacked. So it was a bad year for quarterbacks. And the 21 class was pretty stacked. I mean, when you start talking about the Davis Mills, it was a pretty stacked class. If we get some better play out of Trevor Lawrence, if we get more consistency out of Justin Fields, if we get Zach Wilson just needed some better players around him. He's got some other issues, but I still think there's plenty going on there. Yeah. So okay, Mariota, you probably took the last guy that's even worth taking.
Yeah, it was 1:45 and the bar's closing in 15 minutes.
I don't
So
think I can do the Sam Darnold thing. I'm
your
gonna have
heart
to
can't
go
take it.
elsewhere. I can't do it. There's a line I draw, and that's one of them. So I'm gonna go with one of my favorites, and I don't care what anybody
Oh,
says.
yes.
I love
Yeah.
Amon-Ra St. Brown. I know that's your West Coast guy, and I've been a believer. The cane protein, he's man, he works so hard, and and I'm hearing everybody and their mother saying that. He's not going to have the type of role he had last year. Well, you know what? We don't need him to have the number of touches, the number of the level of role that he had in the last start of the season last year, because his role at the beginning of the season wasn't really there as far as the touch wise. If he just spreads out what he did at the end of the season, just over the whole season, we're going to get a big year out of him, and I love that.
I'm 100% with you. I think I think they've got to report. I mean, people forget that Jared Goff, he supported multiple 1,000-yard receivers, and this guy is 1,000-yard receiver. I mean, he is very much cut of the mold, that slot, that powerful slot receiver that can be a little bit more of a deep threat.
Mhm.
Cup, Woods. I mean, he is that kind of receiver. I'm a big fan. Oh, Kenneth Walker, bravo, bravo.
Yeah, I had to. I
Yeah,
had to. I'm
that
always
one's
I'm always betting on talent. He's probably going to share those touches 50-50, but that's fine by me. That's fine by me.
I am. I'm gonna take a little chance on this one. I know Michael Thomas. He
Nice.
he hasn't. Again, Ohio State. Not being a homer. Not being a homer for you.
Mhm.
I look at him. He's got. All he has to do is be ready in September, and I think at some point, guys just have it in them that they've got to ball out, and I hope that everything's just precautions have been for him, and I'll take a chance on him as my fourth receiver.
Well, think about it. No Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, that's right.
Mark Ingram. He's going to be the replacement, and that's great and all. And I think he's going to do well, even though I'm shocked. I mean, he's taking it to Frank Gore levels here, but he doesn't catch the ball like Alvin Kamara.
Yeah,
So there's going to be a lot of touches up for grabs there.
the guy that they got down Abram Smith. What are your feelings on him?
Well, he's not. He's not a receiver. He's got tiny hands. He's got Burger King hands, and that may actually sound like I'm being just being silly about that, but it's actually legit. Go look at hand size and receiving ability, and it definitely correlates. And so he's not going to be doing that. But I did talk to this guy at the combine, and nobody intimidated me more than Abram Smith.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, I shook his hand, and I was like, man, I'm a big fan. He didn't know I'm a massive college fantasy guy. That I was actually being legit. I wasn't joking. I was like, yeah, I'm a big fan. He goes, you're a big fan. Like he was like calling me out on the spot, and I was like, whoa. I was like, yeah, I'm a big, because he only played 1 year. He
Right.
played linebacker before that. So he was like, what are you a big fan of? Like I was like, whoa. I was like, well, you didn't really give us much until this past year, but you were a beast, man. I was like, yeah, I'm a big fan. Gave me this look, and I was like, oh, geez.
Like I'm legit. I'm
Yeah,
legit. And
yeah,
and yeah, when you can actually name off things about him, then you can actually you
yeah.
prove it. There
Well,
is
yeah,
a
he's like, yeah, you better prove you're a fan. Now prove it. I was like, all right, no, man, it's cool. I like you. I really do. I really watched you play. I don't just say that.
I hear you. Those guys they do want to know that you're for real and you're not
Yeah,
just a Yahoo or something like that.
yeah,
I saw it so many times, and I actually had more of a proving ground with the older guys, the alumni Dodgers. But when I talked to them about seeing them play, then it was just like, okay,
yeah,
you're my new best friend. You saw me
yeah,
play.
yeah, yeah. They okay. Examples. Come on, let's hear them. You're like, okay, okay, I get it, I get it. So,
Oh man, well I did get an hour-long sit down with Kirk Gibson,
oh, that's awesome. No, no,
talking
I
about.
meant they wanted examples when you were saying you were a fan and stuff.
Oh well, I told him that I was almost at the game, uh, Uh,
Oh, the
uh,
game. We know what that is.
so and it's really funny. I actually sat down. Sam Farmer, the
Mhm.
LA Times NFL staff writer, NFL columnist. I'll let you pick, and then I'll
Yeah,
tell
yeah,
the
I'm
story
good.
real quick. And I went
Picking
Ramondre Stevenson because I liked him. Oh, Dawson Knox, bravo, nice pick.
Fort Knox, man. I love him.
He's yeah. I'm doing a little bit of the wait on guy. I'm not maybe may wait on the tight end because this has
Yeah.
been such a pleasant
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah. I'm with you. In a regular PPR, I'm with you. But I just figured, you know what, I'm gonna dip here and go ahead and grab one. But I'm typically with you. I'm in another one. It's one of those 25, the shoot, I forget the name, the whatever threes, the $25 ones.
Yeah.
And we've been drafting for almost 3 weeks now, and we're only like in the seventh round. I mean, it's taken forever. I mean, every person is letting the clock run out, and I'm like, man, but it's
Oh,
okay because I got other drafts going on. So
Sky War,
yeah,
nice.
it's going on in the background and stuff. But yeah, I don't have a quarterback yet. I don't have a tight end, and I don't plan on taking one until very late.
I look at that one. Okay, I got one. I got one here. I'm going Zach Ertz.
Okay.
And that's because from sit down with Jess Root of USA Today, who covers them, and he said that Zach Ertz is going to eat while DeAndre Hopkins. He pointed out that while DeAndre Hopkins is out,
Yeah.
it's going to be him and Marquise Brown, and he's actually he's actually somewhat bullish that Rondale Moore is going to have a role during those weeks that DeAndre Hopkins is suspended.
Yeah.
May not be afterward, but no. So sit down with Kirk Gibson. It was it was 2008, so it was 20 years after. But Sam Farmer, the Hall of Fame, he's in Canton.
Hmm.
He got in on the as on the Writers Guild.
Okay.
He and I were covering high school and Division III college football. He
Okay.
was writing for the LA Times, just starting off um, as a
Hmm.
freelance writer, and I was working for the Daily News competitive paper, and I just joined on as staff, and we're covering Occidental College, which is about 5 miles from Dodger Stadium,
Hmm.
and it's probably about half hour to the World Series game time. We had the game on a little transistor radio. And listening to the pregame shows, we're doing our notes, and it's probably like an hour and a half to game time for us. And he goes, would you believe that I have tickets to this game? That I got tickets to this game?
Oh
And he
man.
looks at me and goes, "Would you go?" And I was like, "Man, we get fired." And then he goes, "Yeah, it's probably better that I gave them to my neighbors, but because we'd gotten to be friends, we'd gotten to be friendly, and we're listening to the game, and then all of a sudden Canseco hits the grand slam, but then the ninth inning comes on, and it just so happens it was magical. It coincided with halftime of our game. And then so we listened to that ninth inning, and we listened to pitch by pitch. We were just like on the edge of our seats, but then we're like, no, it can't be. And then all
Yeah.
of a sudden he hits it,
Oh,
and this is Division III college football, but
yeah.
people were listening in the stands, and there was just like a minor explosion of people. Sam and I are like, because we're both LA kids growing up,
Yeah.
Dodger fans growing up,
Yeah.
and we're like, holy, we're like in the press box high fiving,
Yeah.
and we were like, and we talked about it because I had him on the podcast about a year and a half ago, and we both realized that was the one and only time that either of us had high fived and cheered in a press box.
Nice.
But then we had that realization of, damn, we could have been there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah, just absolutely. And I got to sit down with Kirk Gibson, and he told me about it. And he told me that the greatest thing that he told me about that is that he could hardly walk, but he thought, you know what, I'm gonna feed off the energy of the fans, and I'm gonna let them kind of lift me up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that just was there, and he actually was planning for that backdoor slider on the inside low and inside corner.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Which was Eckersley's. I mean, he's always throwing that thing.
Ooh, I'm gonna double up on tight end right now because I got Justin Fields. I'm gonna go Cole Kmet.
Okay.
Just to, I think I did leave some. I probably left some decent. Oh, I left. I do like Robert Woods, even though he's going to be about 10 months out from his ACL tear.
All right.
But
I mentioned him earlier, and
go
I'm
for it.
trying to get some stock in Naheem Hines.
Ooh,
I think he's gonna. I know it's half PPR and all, but I still think he's gonna do enough in that offense without Wentz in there just hating on the running backs. He threw to JT, but for some reason he just didn't like Naheem, and so I like to get my stock in that guy.
he's going to get some games.
Yeah,
He's going to get some games, and that he's probably going to end up in your lineup 3 to 5 times this season.
yeah,
And to get that in what round are we in? We're 12 to 13.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 12 to
Oh,
13.
Devontae Parker.
Yeah, it's a guy I think people are sleeping on a little bit, and I think it's a mistake. I think he's going to be he's an underneath guy, which is like the definition of Mac Jones. So it's another guy that I think yeah, don't
I,
sleep, don't sleep.
I am I'm grabbing. I'm taking a chance on Isaiah Spiller.
Yeah, yeah,
I
definitely.
think the Chargers. This is 3 years in a row that the Chargers have drafted a running back, and I think it was still one of their first picks. And I mean,
Mhm.
so many people. I think where did you have him on this year's list?
Oh, I think you had him. Let's
Did you have
see.
him third or higher
No,
than
I
that?
think I had him 4. I think I had him at 4. I had let's see. No, I had him at 5. So I had maybe I did have him at 4. It was somewhere in there. I had obviously, Brees, and then um, Kenneth Walker, and I can't remember if I had him after or if I had the receivers in there, Rashad White and James Cook, and then him.
Hmm.
He was either before or after, but it kind of went back and forth.
I was kind of between the two of them, and between Spiller and Rashad White on that one.
Yeah, yeah.
And I haven't sat down with Charger Rider, but I did sit down with Greg Allman
Hmm.
of the Athletic, and he just said he's pretty convinced that it's going to be Fournette show at least early part of the season,
Hmm.
and then maybe White later. And that's the thing that we got to think about these running backs is you're drafting for we're drafting for 17 weeks,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so if I'm willing to take a chance on a running back after I've got 2-3 good ones.
mhm,
And I like Najee, Brees Hall, Ramondre Stevenson, and Isaiah Spiller as options. And the Chargers keep trying to draft guys to be that complement to Austin Eckler.
yeah.
So Eckler's still going to get his
Oh, absolutely.
he's going to get his 180 to 200 carries, and then 75,
Well, they've been
60,
looking
70.
for that guy that can come in
Mhm.
and take on a 30-40% carry share and actually do something with it. And I think he doesn't have the blazing speed, but they really don't need that. They've got Eckler. They need a guy that can come in and grind the yards and take some of the load off of Spiller's shoulders.
So I'm kind of curious. This guy, he's only got one quarterback at this point, and Mitchell Trubisky. Just for grins, I checked. He's the top ranked quarterback right now. I wonder
I
if
can't believe
this.
Darnold's still there. That's just hilarious. We still have a
Wow.
starting quarterback there at round 14. That really speaks to the level that people are trusting that Carolina quarterback situation. It's one of the worst managed NFL teams in the league. It's disgusting. They're over here tossing contracts to Robbie Anderson and Ian Thomas. I'm just it's
It,
awful. It's awful. I mean, seriously, and I've got no front office experience. I could do better than these guys are doing. I could.
well, the thing to me is you pay Robbie Anderson, and then you just ignore him last year for the most part, and that one just flummoxed me. I couldn't see that one.
I feel sorry for DJ Moore. This guy's
Yeah.
he's putting up with a dumpster fire. He really is.
And the tough part is let's say they don't figure it out this season and they go for a rookie quarterback. Justin Herbert isn't falling out of the tree.
Mm-hmm.
So you're likely looking at 2 years of quarterback, rough quarterback play.
Yeah.
And yeah, DJ Moore is the new, poster child for, please get him a good quarterback.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what we got here. Ty Davis Price is interesting. Oh, I can't pass up Jamison Crowder at this point.
Okay.
I think there's just so much volume coming out of that passing offense, and they love throwing it. Oh, Alec Pierce is another good one there.
Here's a guy I can't pass on. Darrell. We know. I don't even care if Connor stays healthy all season. He's not going to be taking 100% of the carry share, and it's and to me, I 60-40. I'll take a 40 of Darrell. And they really don't have anything else. I mean, they have the rookie shoot from that transferred to USC from Texas. I'm drawing a blank.
Oh, Ingram?
Keontae Ingram. And, maybe we might see him in there, dip a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be enough to take away that what he's got going on. Let's see here. I think I'm going to have to go tight end, and I hate to, but Noah Fant is. I'm going to bet on the talent.
Ooh.
And I need another tight end. I usually try to end with 3 tight ends, and especially since I'm probably not going to be able to go with the third quarterback. So
there's someone who still has one.
That's crazy.
I can't believe you still have one. Somebody would still have one at this point. I think you might like this one.
By the way, the guy that I like Tolbert. This guy, man. This guy's he's gonna get snaps right away.
He is, and yeah. I'm gonna shout out to my compadre Edwin Porras. We talked about, Michael Gallup got hurt late. Mm-hmm. And we did a nice sit down on late season ACLs, and he doesn't trust them before 9 months, but a lot of times he says it's 10 to 12 months. And with Michael Gallup, 10 months is like the end of October. So that's half the season right there. And I'm taking Jalen Tolbert.
What have we seen from James Washington?
Yeah.
Report-wise, nothing. The guy's had a walking boot. He's not done anything with the Cowboys offense. So any type of delay in the cohesion with Dak Prescott is big for Jalen Tolbert. It's big.
It's really wide open for him. Okay, I'm really curious if this guy's going to take a quarterback in there. Tyler Higbee.
Which one is it?
Sir MGM. He's still got one quarterback and went. And he's got the,
I like his quarterback, but and wow, he's going no running back too. I mean, he does have ETN, but wow, look at all those wide receivers. Yeah, wow. Man, he's taking an interesting approach.
Wow, I mean, yeah, he's expecting to have. Okay, it went back to me. That's okay. Now we're back. Now I'm curious on this one. He's back. He's back again.
Yeah, let's see what he does. He's got to go Darnold here. I can't imagine.
Gosh.
You got to have.
How tough is that one?
Somebody. And we're late here. We're 16. Darnold would be just too obvious for him. Wow.
George
another
Pickens?
wide receiver. Maybe he doesn't realize what a super flex is. That might be what it is.
It could, but even still, I mean, you got at least 2 quarterbacks by round 16. Even if you got Josh Allen as one of them. You still got at least quarter.
You got to notice that the quarterbacks are gone.
Yeah,
you can't just. That's why we're in the Debbie, but it wasn't his fault. We have got one of our subs. He's actually in the Army, and he's away right now, and he didn't realize until round 3 that it was a super flex. I said it 1,000 times, but he's boots to the ground. He's somewhere else, and he just never saw any of them, and he didn't know. And he ended up getting Baker Mayfield in the 4th. Which it's okay. We have a big 23 class coming in, and obviously it's a Debbie, so he can go out and get some guys. But I was like, you didn't notice when 22 quarterbacks were gone by the time you made your second pick? And he was like, honestly, I could barely see the draft board from my phone, So I get it.
Oh,
I get it. It's
hey,
tough.
thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Oh, Dart throw here. I know I got Cortland Sutton earlier, but KJ Hamler, hard to
And
turn
I'm
him
rooting for
down.
him to do something. I like Hamler, man. Penn State guy. He's got it. He's got the wheels. He's got all the traits, man. I want to see him do something.
He's gonna. I mean, you got him paired up with a deep ball thrower. I mean, it may not happen early on, but because he's still rehabbing from a knee, his own knee injury. But
I'm doing it.
could
I'm
be.
going Mitchell.
Ooh, yes. Now, okay. Here's the question: how long do you think he keeps the job? Do you think he
I
keeps?
really don't know, and um, it's I've read the reports that are out saying that he's clearly ahead and everything, but I mean, oh yeah, you know what I'm going to do here? I was reading about Austin Hooper being one of Tannehill's guys, so I think I'm going to go ahead and go with him. And if I can just get four or five, maybe five starts out of him, I think that's enough for a round 16 stab here as QB3. I mean, that's got to put Sam Darnold on the fast track to be drafted, right?
It's got to.
Yeah,
Please.
for MGN, somebody's got to get him out of the green room or the
Let's see. Oh, you know what? I went Wandale Robinson.
Wandale. Yeah,
I think I
yeah,
love Dable as a play caller.
mhm,
I think he's innovative. I think he'll take some chances with him.
absolutely. And you know what? I don't think that I'm drawing a blank. The guy from Auburn, the wide was. Anyway, I don't. I think that he's going to be the wide receiver 3, and when I see a guy that can go out and win against cover 1 and cover 3, that's enough for me. So
Are you talking about Slayton, Darius Slayton?
Slayton, I don't think he's going to
Yeah,
make the roster. I think he's going to get cut. I just don't. I don't think he's gonna want to enter the season as the wide receiver 4 when he's in year 4 right now. Like this is
yeah.
the last year of his rookie contract. I don't think he's going to be happy about that.
It's and that's the thing. And I mean, yeah, he could get himself. Yeah, he could never know end up getting traded or something like that because someone could get a camp injury or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
I look at him. I think he's yeah. And think about it. How much have they invested in the wide receiver position? They signed Kenny Galladay last year. Then they drafted Kadarius Toney, drafted Robinson this
Mm-hmm.
year. I
Mm-hmm.
just think that's a lot of resources that are being invested to around him. And I mean, I think it just says they're not completely believers in him. Uh,
So the top 2 quarterbacks likely going to be Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, and I think that those 2 teams. I think it's going to be the Giants at number 2. I think number 1 is going to be the Seahawks. I think those are the 2
ooh,
teams, and even if the Giants don't finish with the second worst record, which they have a good defense, I think they're going to trade up. I think they have to. I think the writing was on the wall when they didn't use Danny Dimes's 5th-year option. So I think he's out after this year. All right, let's see what Surrey MGM does here. You got me intrigued here. Oh wow, he's gone. Who took Darnold? Oh, the pick right before. Is he going to go Drew Lock? What's he going to do?
I
Somebody
mean,
needs like
Drew
drum roll. Oh, another wide receiver.
Nico call.
Wow.
When in doubt, take another wide receiver.
Yeah, he's got like 17 already. That's awesome. I love it.
That's hey, you know what? You got an idea, go for it. Hey, it is super flex, so I
Yeah,
mean, what that means 2 flex positions can.
yeah.
There's one flex and one super flex. Yeah, you're banking on the fact that you're gonna get 2 wide receivers blow up after the
Mhm.
top 3, or maybe a tight end or running back blow up. So like, you know what?
Living on
Maybe
the edge.
now I wonder if Malik Willis gets picked.
Yeah,
He's an interesting one.
it's a tough one. It really is because Tennessee, they're in a rebuild mode. They'll never admit it, but Derrick Henry, he's getting closer to 29, and Tannehill, he's going to be fine. He's 33, but he's fine for several years. But I don't know if he's going to hang around in Tennessee beyond a couple of years. Hopefully they can get their young wide receiver his asthma situation taken care of, because
Mm.
that's concerning. But yeah, I mean, to me, they're in rebuild mode, and I love Hassan Haskins. I think that's a guy that's gonna surprise a lot of people, because he didn't test at the combine or at his pro day, so people don't realize how athletic this guy is.
And that actually, that's who I had kind of starred for my pick, and I just grabbed Haskins.
Oh, nice, yeah, yeah,
That game,
that's
I know it's stinging, but that game, Thanksgiving weekend, I won't say against which team.
yeah.
Uh, I mean, he showed
Oh
so
no, it's
much.
fine. It was an amazing game.
Yeah,
Amazing. No way they beat Ohio State without. So we do go beyond 18 in this one. Yeah, we go deeper.
are we going
We go
20 or
20. Yeah.
awesome?
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, though my late round sleeper tight end went just before me too.
Oh, did
Taysom
you?
Hill.
Oh yeah. That I almost took Taysom. I clicked on him when I was gonna take Austin Hooper, and I was like, you know what? I read about Austin Hooper, and I'm an Austin Hooper apologizer, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. So who wasn't there? No, it looks like quarterback's cleaned up. It's gone.
Going 2 extra rounds.
Yeah, ooh, I didn't see him. Mark Ingram. There we go.
Oh,
Yeah,
great.
let's do that.
Considering the news that just came out. Considering the news.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, I'm right there with everyone else. I completely forgot about him, and then he's just like staring at me in the face.
We were trusting the ADP at that point.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I
And
got
yeah,
my
these 30-second clocks, it's hard to get really. And plus, I'm not trying to share a lot of people to my queue, just because not you. I just don't like to share how I post people to my queue. I'm real private about my queue. So,
hey.
um,
You got to hold your cards. You got to hold your cards tight.
well, here's the thing. The last time I did this, I shared my screen, and I forgot I was sharing my screen, and I had my queue like rolling the whole time, and so I shared it all last time. I'm not sharing it this time.
So I went Brian Robinson.
Okay.
I think he's going to have a role with Washington.
Oh, it's guaranteed. It's
It
guaranteed.
and yeah, because they're telling you right there that
Yeah.
that by just the fact that they re-signed McKissick and they brought back and they signed Robinson, he's going to have a role. It's not going to be a big role, but I'll take the chance. And
No,
plus the fact,
look what happened the past 2 years. Antonio Gibson was standing on the sidelines at the end of the year. They don't want that to happen again.
I hear you. The Jarrett Patterson won me a league.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had Antonio Gibson, and a couple weeks before I picked up Patterson just on a whim, and I Gibson got hurt, and I flipped him back in. So
Yep.
that was actually the Dodger what used to be the Dodger front office league, which is now kind of 50-50 between everybody had to have worked in the front office at some point.
Okay.
And so and actually that league started out in the clubhouse with a mix between some front office guys, some PR guys, some clubhouse guys, and some players. And then we just probably about in the early 2000s, it became front office only. But yeah, thank you, Jarrett Patterson. But no, I think Brian Robinson's going to have quite the role. Now, I got a question. We got 2 extra rounds. What are you thinking at this point?
Well, I was so concerned about making sure I got my 3 tight ends, and then I was grabbing running backs, because there's just several guys that I really like, and I was looking at my wide receivers. I was like, ooh, I'm kind of thin there. So that's kind of what I was wanting to do here, until I was going to go wide receiver there until I saw Mark Ingram. I was just gonna grab an extra couple wide receivers. And that's probably what I'll do here, is probably grab another wide receiver. I want to ask you a question though. I bet you have a killer autograph collection. I love memorabilia, man. It's awesome. I've got like a baseball signed by Mickey Mantle, and I've got one by Nolan Ryan, and I've got a baseball signed by the '88 Dodgers World Series team,
Oh,
and
awesome.
and on the very front of it, a big signature from Sandy Koufax, and then the '88 Dodger World Series all around it. And then I've got one of the manuals, the spring training manuals with Sandy Koufax on it. So I love that stuff. But I bet you got some crazy good stuff.
It's not autographs, but I became big into pictures. I got a picture.
Okay.
I got lucky,
You're
got a
like
picture.
you're like Guru. You're just like Guru.
I got a picture with Duke Snyder,
Oh,
and
that's awesome. I got 2 helmets signed by him, but I don't
oh,
have
Duke.
a picture with him.
Oh, yeah. We had brought him out for to talk to the minor leaguers and actually to do a photo shoot. And this was 2008,
Yeah.
and Andrew Jones had just signed with the Dodgers. Okay. Ooh, I'm gonna take a flyer on CJ Uzoma on this one.
Okay.
I think it's that San Francisco Shanahan offense that I'm
Yeah.
trusting that
Sure.
he's going to use the tight end.
What do you think about this Terrace Marshall? He's supposedly his stock's going up. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're right, though. I mean, he's healthy,
Yeah.
and I mean that's the thing. He's healthy, and you got to start thinking about that.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely opened my eyes. I was like, wait a second, Terrace Marshall. But who's going to get him the ball is my question. And I don't know about that.
But I did get pictures with Duke Snyder, and actually also got a picture with Sandy Koufax.
Okay.
So and they were like back-to-back months. I got a picture, though one of my prize pictures were, I got pictures with Joe Torre, Tommy Lasorda, and Don Mattingly, and it was the day Don Mattingly got hired as the manager. That's one of my favorites. But quite honestly, actually, I think the greatest autograph that my family has was actually Tommy Lasorda to my oldest daughter, who he just adored my kids, told my
Yeah.
kids to call him Uncle Tommy.
That's awesome.
He signed his Albuquerque Dukes bobblehead that he'd given, and he dedicated it to her. And
Oh, wow.
so yeah,
Man, that was such a huge loss.
oh,
Tommy Lasorda was amazing because I was a kid, and he was good to me too. He was good with all kids. He was
loves
such
kids.
a good guy, man. Such a good guy.
Loves kids. When he's around kids, he becomes grandpa. Though, did he give you coaching tips?
No,
or did you see him
I was
give
always
coaching?
in a crowd, so it wasn't like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's different. Like with girls, he's grandpa.
Yeah.
And but he does want to hear if they're playing sports. With little boys, he's like, let me see your stance, let me see your pitching motion. But just one thing that he loved to tell kids is, I just remember, look up to the sky and say, I love the Dodgers, and remember that the Dodgers love you too. So Tommy, there was nothing fake about him. He bled blue like you wouldn't believe. And
Yeah, that's incredible. I love hearing those stories, man.
Yeah, he's as good as it gets. And yeah, it's been a year and a half, and it still hurts. It still hurts.
It does. It was such a massive loss just to the world. He was an amazing individual. But this was a lot of fun. I like I said, I hadn't done one of the Superflex yet. I've got the $25 ones going in the background, but this was a lot of fun. I love Superflex. It's easily my favorite redraft. I love Superflex tight end premium, but hey, if I can't get the tight end premium as well, I'll take the Superflex. But this was amazing, having this opportunity to talk to you about the Dodgers, and then the fact that you're a former front office. That's just incredible, and this was an honor, man. I had a good time.
I love this too, and yes, I do love the fact that I can kind of bring the front office and a little bit of a beat writer feel to it, because I was in the trenches with the beat writers, and conducting interviews and everything like that. Just kind of get that roster construction. What are teams thinking? That 2-3 moves down, but Wes, as my familia would say in Spanish, esto fue un gran placer. Just such an incredible pleasure. I love meeting you, and we're after the 4th of July, we're gonna do a sit down, and I got more stories to tell, on camera, off camera, whatever. And are you gonna be in Canton?
I will be, absolutely.
Oh, I will be there.
I'll be there with my wife. Actually, I'm gonna bring the wife. We're gonna do the mini vacation thing,
Awesome.
and I'll be there all 4 days. I'll be at both parties, and obviously we'll be sponsoring the Friday night party. And then I do want to throw the promo code out,
Yes.
fantasy PTS, and you get $100 bonus cash on Underdog for your first deposit, and $10 of that is going to go to the June donation program, Best Friends Animal Society. And you can go to the our Twitter feed, and pull one of either Dino. Was it Dino?
Dino 10.
Dino 10 and Pebbles 10 is mine. Use the fantasy PTS. That's for the $100 bonus cash on first deposit. Use Dino 10 or Pebbles 10, and there's several others on there. Don't want to hate on their puppies either. And at $10 of that, it's going to go to non-lethal. The name's going to pop up here. Best Friends Animal Society, which is a non-lethal shelter there. So it's been a pleasure, and we'll catch you guys next Thursday. I'm sure we'll have another Underdog draft.
Salud, everybody.